Alright, welcome back to another Top of the Pops reaction.
On Top of the Pops, James Blunt joins us in the studio.
Oh, great.
Crazy Frog returns.
Oh, God.
Plus, U2 and Sir Paul McCartney.
Oh, alright. Okay, so this is quite an unusual and historic's probably the wrong word, Top of the Pops, for me to react to today, for a couple of reasons. The first one, as you can probably tell, this is probably the newest episode. That's definitely the newest episode so far I've reacted to. This is from the 11th of July, 2005.
And welcome to tonight's Top of the Pops. Don't get too excited, it's not the weekend. It is a Monday night, but it's a one-off, very special Top of the Pops. It's the last one on BBC1.
Yep, there you go. Well, that's the other reason. Fern Cotton, who's co-hosting with Reggie Yates, explains this was the last regular BBC1 edition. And we're kicking off this episode of Top of the Pops, which was broadcast 16 years ago today. I think I'm working that out right. With Kanye West. And this is Diamonds from Sierra Leone. It's at number 8 in the UK Top 40, babe. And I like this. Good start, this for me. So thank you for joining me again for another in the Top of the Pops reaction or commentary series. And when I saw this episode come up, and when I was looking for downloads, it said in the title, last regular BBC1 edition, and I had a scrub through, like I usually do, just to check quality and whether there was a load of cuts. And it looked a really good episode to react to. You know, it's kind of a milestone one. Top of the Pops sort of moved, I think, permanently. I say permanently. It was pretty much axed as a weekly programme, what, a year later? It might have been under a year later. If I can find any notes out about sort of the demise of Top of the Pops around 2005, 2006, then they'll be going across the ticker bar down below. But I mainly like to put notes about the artists and the tracks. And probably don't need to say an awful lot about Kanye West, because you know who Kanye West is. Massive artist, still massive today. And this was a relatively early single for him. I think he'd only really been on the scene sort of internationally maybe a year, 2 years at this point in mid-2005. Of course, this samples Diamonds Are Forever by Shirley Bassey. That was a Bond theme for the James Bond film of the same name. Great film, but then again, I'm a Bond aficionado. And although I wouldn't say I'm a Kanye West fan, I do like some of his work. It doesn't matter to me regarding his music, the fact that in his personal life, and his, I suppose his public life, you could say, he comes across as a bit of a knobhead at times. He has put out some good stuff. I'm not into everything that he's done, but this is certainly up there for me with my favourite Kanye West singles. And one of my favourite hip-hop singles, probably of this decade. I think he'll be rapping live. It's very hard to mime to rap, isn't it? So I was paying pretty much no attention to the charts at this point. Anything that I was familiar with, I would have been seen on music video channels on Sky Digital. I had a reaction to a 2002 TOTP episode. That was a couple of months back. And although there was a lot more on it that I was familiar with than I expected, I think that was mainly not because I was listening to the charts, because I wasn't, or even buying music, because I wasn't buying a lot of music either. But it was just thanks to the music video channels on satellite. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Kanye West, great stuff.
It's time to change. Top of the Pops is changing channels.
So yeah, they've got to hype up.
New time, new channel.
Hype up the fact that it's basically been demoted to BBC 2.
Sunday nights at 7.
and it's moving to Sundays. I think it was on Fridays at this point.
That's right, your old friend Top of the Pops is moving to BBC2 this Sunday. Get your roast dinner ready in front of the TV and enjoy. Now on tonight's show, we've got a great lineup. We've got Heather Small, we've got James Blunt, and Sir Paul McCartney and U2. Woohoo! That's me done.
Okay, now everybody loved the Crazy Frog ringtone.
Oh no!
On her phone.
No, I didn't.
Dave went out and bought the hat. Everybody loved it. It has become a
Right.
phenomenon. So what happens next? Well, they bring
Yeah, phenomenon. Fortunately, one that lasted for about 3 months. Oh god! It would have been bad enough if it was the cover version that Crazy Frog or whoever was responsible for Crazy Frog did of Axel F. But it gets worse. It's a follow-up. It's Popcorn. I mean, what is the point of having a live in-studio performance of this when it's a bloody cartoon character and one based on a ringtone? It's just, I don't know, you kind of would have understood it back in the Pants People and Legs & Co days, where just have a bunch of dancers. Well, they might as well have just played the Crazy Frog Popcorn promo video. All they've got of him is even like a still of him in the background. It's not even a proper video clip of the bloody annoying little twat. Oh, I mean, it's a kind of Euro dance cover of Popcorn. It's fine until like it gets all the Crazy Frog noises in. Yeah, see those diggy diggy dig in the background. I mean, that just sort of ruins it instantly, really. But ridiculous that this is actually in his studio performance rather than the promo video being played. Perhaps they weren't playing any promo videos on Top of the Pops at this point. I mean, as I was alluding to earlier, going back to the... excuse me. Going back to all the music video channels that would have sprung up over the sort of last 5 or 6, maybe a bit longer, 6 or 7 years on digital satellite and digital cable TV here in the UK, I suppose. Perhaps Top of the Pops were kind of moving away from those entirely as people just weren't watching Top of the Pops to see videos when there was kind of... A lot of the video channels were sort of almost on demand of the time. I mean, it was kind of very sort of early days for on-demand stuff, and it was basically a case of you got a phone in or text, and then if you sit around for an hour or so, the song, the video that you voted for, that you asked for, and the call probably cost something stupid, like £1.50, just for 10 seconds or something. If you were lucky, it'd come on, but... So, I don't know, I'm just speculating here, and I might as well, because I don't really want to sit and listen to this, because it's just ridiculous. And the main ridiculous thing about, like I say, the song itself is a fine, if silly, cover version of Popcorn. But the Crazy Frog sound effects ruined it, and why have it in the studio? Why not just play the video? I don't know.
Music info, here's 24/7.
Okay, this looks like some feature that I'm not familiar with.
Honey, Bow Wow, and Backstreet Boys. The first, former Evanescence guitarist Ben Moody has recorded a duet with Anastasia. Everything Burns appears on the forthcoming Fantastic Four soundtrack. So, who's their favourite superhero?
I like the meme.
The thing.
Yeah, does he go like that?
You can watch the Ben and Anastasia video.
I've got a
on
feeling that
this
film
Sunday
wasn't
show.
very popular. Probably did well in the box office, but I get the feeling it wasn't well received by fans. I don't know. Yeah, I remember this by Jessica Simpson. Don't hear anything from her now. I wonder what she's doing.
The video features Willie Nelson and has raised a few eyebrows in the US. Let's hope the film is Boss Hogg and not.
Oh yeah, they're off a film as well. Yeah, it would have been the Dukes of Hazzard remake, of course. Yeah.
Rap in school Local Boy, but like a dog with a bone, Bow Wow is back. Let Me Hold You is the first single from his new album. Bow Wow says he's left his puppy fat behind.
When I was 13 years old, there was a lot of restraints, a lot of things that I couldn't say, a lot of things that I couldn't do.
I don't remember that.
18 years old, it's a lot of things.
I think Bow Wow is the son of Master P, I believe. I only know Master P for two things. One, he had an uncredited role in God in 60 Seconds. And two, it was in WCW, World Championship Wrestling, for a cup of coffee and a large fee in 1999.
We created a new dance style called Dancing Without Dancing. All around, we're going to put on a great show.
Backstreet Boys play the UK in October.
Backstreet Boys, the boy band who aren't a boy band. Very confusing.
They're a man band.
They are, yes.
Now the question on everyone's lips is who's been buying what? Well, it's time to find out. It's the album chart.
Oh, an album chart. Lovely stuff.
Dropping to 10, Foo Fighters and In Your Honor. Up 19 places to 9, Razorlights Up All Night. Mariah Carey and The Emancipation of Mimi is at 8. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds falls to 7. In at 6, Hard-Fi and Stars of CCTV. Up 6 places to 5, Keen's Hopes and Fears.
Keen as shit, I wouldn't see them tonight.
Move up to 4 with
Can't be doing
Employment.
with Keen.
A non-mover at 3,
Absolute
the greatest
bedwetters.
hits from Faithless. X and Y drops to number 2 for Coldplay. And James Blunt makes it to number 1.
Well, I think we see James Blunt later. Yeah, not a brilliant album chart.
James Blunt here from his number 1 album,
Wise Men. Here we are. Alright, Wise Men. I think this came out as a single, probably after this, but because I do remember it. I remember this being on an episode of Gavin and Stacey. Yeah. I like Gavin and Stacey, but some of the music they used, I don't know, it kind of dates the programme for me now, because they use stuff like Snow Patrol and James Blunt, all artists who were kind of massive in the mid-noughties. So yeah, James Blunt, still a fairly successful recording artist. Not a lot of people, well, no, a lot of people liked him, but he was very Marmite. You know, you either was a big fan of him and his voice, or you thought he was a posh little prick. You can have a guess in the comments which which camp I fell into there. He said semi by the sea. One for you there, Tart. I know you enjoy my innuendos. What do I think of this? I don't like James Blunt. I've probably very strongly hinted at that already. But it's his voice, really. Some of his songs, I mean, the kind of instrumentation and the playing of the music, which is the instrumentation. You know, the production on this, the arrangement is fine. It's just his voice. It's just not to my taste. Although, to be fair, his singing voice is a lot better than his speaking voice. Bloody hell. He makes Prince Charles sound like a Barra boy, doesn't he? Out of all the James Blunt songs I've heard, and you know, by the grace of God, it's not been loads and loads over the years, but this is probably one of the ones that I can tolerate more. Mainly a little bit thanks to Gavin and Stacey, but mostly because it's an okay song. I'd rather hear someone else other than him sing it, but I'm assuming he wrote it or co-wrote it, so yeah. Yes, so Wise Men by James Blunt, who is number 1 in the album chart. And that was alright at best.
A massive big well done to Mr. James Blunt for knocking the mighty Mighty Coldplay off the #1 album spot. That is a beauty of a song.
Nah, if you know anything about East London, you'll know there's more music coming out of that manor right now than humanly possible. I mean, I could ask the likes of Dizzy, Wiley, Kano, Lethal. I could go on, but I won't. Time now to introduce the newest addition to the fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Roll Deep.
So this is an exclusive, and it's The Avenue by Roll Deep. I need to listen to this for a minute or so, just see if I remember it. The sample sounds familiar. That's going to annoy me because I can't think what the sample is, and I'll probably realise as soon as I've stopped recording. I'll put it on screen, obviously. And it's not like not knowing something that seems to be somewhere there in the brain. But the whole song itself, I vaguely remember Roll Deep around this time. Whether it was this track or... I don't know if this was their debut single or it was a follow-up to something else that I'm thinking of. I couldn't honestly say. Heartache Avenue. That's obviously what the sample is. Can't think who recorded that originally though. It just sounds really familiar. Oh well, I've got the title. Anyway, what do I think of this? A little bit kind of... what's the word? It's a good song. I like the sample, and I get the feeling I would enjoy the actual normal studio recording more. As a live performance, it's obviously, well, they're rapping live. I mean, you know, the actual backing music will just be played off a CD or a DAT or mini disc or whatever the BBC were using at this point. I quite like it. I just, I don't know, the live rapping isn't massively working for me. Well, it's alright, this, yeah. I think Kanye West is still a better, much better rap song, hip-hop song, urban track, whatever genre you want to put this in, than this. But this is alright. So far, this episode hasn't been too bad at all, really. Nothing that's massively really excited me to see, but yeah, that was fine. Yeah.
Little party up here, wow. Now, one of the highlights of Live 8 had to be this next collaboration, and it's very, very special because it was the first time it was ever performed live. If you're actually down there on the day, you know how brilliant this was, but if you missed it, do not worry, you're about to relive some history. Here are U2 and Sir Paul McCartney with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Alright, well, this doesn't really need much introduction, does it? It's from Live 8, which would have taken place, I think, early with Live Aid from '85. So yeah, U2 and Macca. This didn't come out. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, that's an album I've got twice now. I've got it once in a Beatles stereo box set, and I've got a 50th anniversary remaster, also on CD. And yeah, I don't really need to say anything about Sgt. Pepper, one of the most important albums. Not my favourite Beatles since, you know, the day it was released. So this would have been obviously the opening track for the album. But I think that was mainly tabloid hearsay. But it would have been interesting.
What a legendary combination. Watch it again with joy.
That was fine. I quite like that.
This next song helped London win its Olympic bid, and it comes at a very difficult time for London when there are so many people to be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, Heather Small.
Another exclusive. I ain't got to play anything that's in the bloody chart or what? So this is Proud by Heather Small. Heather Small, of course. Lead singer. I think she was still in the band at this point. She'd not left. She was just doing a solo stint of M People. Very distinctive voice, sort of quite low for a female vocalist, but it's still very melodious, and oh, there was a bit of them people I liked. Some of their stuff I found a little bit kind of on the bland, radio-friendly side. And this, it's all right. This song, it's fairly well, probably certainly a best-known solo single. Certainly, couldn't say what position it got in the chart, but I would have thought high top 10. Looking very nice there in a white dress. Very nice indeed. And she's sounding good. Is she singing live? Maybe. I can never tell. I seem to ask that question, rhetorically of course, because no one can really answer me as I'm sat here recording this. Well, I always say, was that live or was it early miming? And I probably get it wrong 9 times out of 10. So yeah, this was a song that apparently helped the successful London 2012 bid for the Olympic Games. Wow, and those Olympics, as of me recording this, were 9 years ago. This episode of Top of the Pops, 16 years ago today. It just seems like 5 minutes ago to me. Scary how time flies, isn't it? I just noticed the Olympic rings alight in the background. Presumably that's meant to represent the Olympic flame rather than someone having vandalised and torched the Olympic rings. David Beckham there for some reason. David Beckham doing a crossword. Yeah, right. I didn't know the Beano had a crossword. Thank you, Heather Small. Yeah, that was alright. Wouldn't go out and buy it or choose to listen to it, but it's alright. Yeah, she was singing live, I thought so.
2012 Olympics. When Mr. Yates, you'll be nearly 30.
Thanks, fam.
Yeah.
Now there's time for this week's official.
Oh, we all know what happens to 30-year-olds on Radio 1 and the BBC Youth sector. They get put down to Radio 2. Right, the chart.
Bullies dropped to 9 with Shot You Down. Kanye West is straight in at 8 with Diamonds from Sierra
Good song.
Leone.
Probably will be my favourite performance of the show.
7, MVP and Rock Your Body. Crazy Frog moves down to 9.
Oh god, he's in the top 10 with that.
Straight in at 5, Kelly Clarkson and Cynthia.
Yeah, I remember that. That was alright, Kelly Clarkson.
Charlotte Church's Crazy Chick drops to 4.
Vaguely remember that. I don't think he was very good.
Non-mover at 3 with You're Beautiful.
We've seen him earlier, but with a different song.
This week's highest new entry is a 2 for Mariah.
Alright, looks like we're getting a non-mover at number 1.
Which means they've done it again. 2 back and Elton John, and this week's number 1.
Oh! Oh wow, okay. 2-pack!
Eminem.
Oh, we've got to listen to
Went and made another 2-pack.
So boring old farts to pontificate. Yeah, get on with it.
From the Madman Across the Water album, and it seems to work really, really well. And I'm just delighted to be involved with someone who was influential in such a genre as 2-pack.
Well, we started great with Kanye West, and we've ended, assuming this is the end, they might play another track afterwards, I honestly don't know. But I love this song. This was a single that I paid attention to. I didn't buy it, but I was listening to a fair bit of hip-hop, mainly my brother's CDs and tapes, and, you know, just stuff that I'd seen on TV and whatever. But I was really getting into 2-pack, probably been getting into him for the past sort of 3 or 4 years at this point. And this is obviously a posthumous release. 2-pack himself passed away in September 1996. And well, 9 years later nearly, is having a #1 hit in the UK and no doubt in other parts of the world with a great song. And yeah, even the fact it's featuring Elton John, a guy who I find very hit and miss myself. Even that doesn't diminish just what a beautiful song this is. Definitely, I know I said Diamonds from Sierra Leone by Kanye was one of the best hip-hop songs of the year. This certainly is. This will probably be #1, I think. You know, offhand, I can't think of anything else in this genre that I liked more than Ghetto Gospel. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, love this song. Just the melody, the arrangement. Nice video. You know, it's not one of these sort of slightly quasi-religious tributes to Tupac that you used to get for certain posthumous singles. Like you'd see kind of these rather overblown tributes to people like Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls. You know, your slain rappers basically. And this is rather more kind of like a little mini movie that doesn't feature Tupac, doesn't feature Elton John for that matter. It's just a decent video. Yeah, delighted. I've enjoyed this episode a lot, to be fair. Way more than I expected to. But #1, Tupac, Elton John, Ghetto Gospel. Lovely.
And it turns out, fam, that Elton could knock himself off the top spot next week.
Wow.
The guys are
And there we are. That's it for this episode of Top of the Pops. So I don't know if there would have been any music playing ending it. I've got the feeling it would have just been some credits actually. But that was the final Top of the Pops from 2005. Hope you enjoyed it. Please join me again later this month for another Top of the Pops reaction. Oh no, hang on, no, we're back! So, obviously I didn't scrub through this episode very well. Anyway, right.
It's time to change.
I didn't think it. I didn't think it had finished. It just froze, and I thought, oh well, that's the end of it.
New day,
Right.
new time, new channel.
Okay, right. I'm gonna go anyway. See ya.
On Top of the Pops, Sunday nights at 7. This Sunday on BBC2.